the kids in Ojai. And I'm a mother of a 21-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And we were having lunch the other day, and my kids were talking, just having an honest conversation, and I kind of asked them what I could have done better as a parent. It's the truth. I don't know why. I can always tell them what they can do better, but anyway. So they told me that I should have never bought a home in Ojai. We should have never moved here. Because Ojai, they hate it. Okay? They hate it.
They all hate that.
And I'm just, no, they're 21 and 19 now. I'm talking about.
For 19 to 30 years old, this is an awfully boring place to be.
Well, this was a retrospective question because I have a 10-year-old that's going to grow up there. And you're very rich.
For 10-year-olds, they love it.
And so my question to you is, we've talked about a lot of things at City Council meetings, things we've been working on for over 2 years, like the skate park. And it's my goal, and to all the kids, to build things, you know, between that time when you get out of school and you're riding your bike around, something to do. That's not an organized sport. I just want to know what you guys see for the future of the kids of Ojai, not gang violence and all the other drugs and stuff.
My turn? Tough question. I'm not exactly sure how to answer that question. First of all, I applaud your bravery in asking your kids that question. By the time I moved to Ojai, my kids were grown. After I moved to Ojai, my soon-to-be stepkids were younger, and I don't know that they would have answered that question the same way your kids did. Yeah, so I'm not sure at any point they would have asked the question. Two of my stepkids moved back to Ojai after they left, and one moved to New York, one went to school up at San Luis Obispo, and they came back because they like it, and they've had to leave, one for job reason and one because she couldn't afford a house here in Ojai and wound up buying a house down in Ventura. So I don't know that they had the same response as your kids. I guess the way that I would answer the question is, you know, kids are people. They have ideas. Some are good like adults and some are bad like adults, but they're worth listening to. So, you know, I mean, when I say I'm willing to listen to people's ideas, that includes kids. What, you know, they know better what they would like, better than me. So I don't know how to answer that other than I would listen to kids and work with them. I've worked with the Youth Foundation folks, and try and do the best we can and be responsive to their desires. And part of it, you know, the psychological impact on kids that like to skate park of the nonsense that we've gone through for the last decade not only affects that they don't really have a skate park, but my guess is on some level affects the way that they see Ojai. So that if there was a skate park, not only would skateboarders have something to do, but I would imagine non-skateboarding kids would at least feel better about how they're treated. Every time I run, my response is, you know, Ojai is an amazing place. If we can raise the money to fix the bowl, if we can raise the money to build the skate park, if we can raise the money to keep the libraries open, if we can raise the money to support the Land Conservancy to protect the open spaces, we certainly need to look into having a community pool. Any place where it never snows is great, but any place where it never snows and where the temperatures regularly are above 85 needs to at least look at the possibility of having a community swimming pool.
You've got an excellent point. Now, I've been in town for 26 years, and my son Ryan, who's in the audience tonight, moved here when he was 4 or 5. So I've been here through his entire growing up. He's 28 years old now. The Park and Recreation Department tries to do what they can do in terms of the Boyd Center and the activities there. And anybody that has ideas or wants to implement new programs has a perfect vehicle to meet at their meetings and discuss things that they think should be done for the youth of Ojai. But it goes back to one of the things that's in the forefront of my campaign are these empty buildings along Ojai Avenue that I consider to be a plight. The gas station that's across from Star next to the Oaks, the empty bowling alley is what brings to mind. And why we can't get something involving kids to an environmental business that we can handpick, that we can romance to come to Ojai, that's going to be an Ojai-friendly business, to have to do with kids, because I can tell you, when Ryan was growing up, he spent a lot of time on the bowling alley and at the golf course. And there were leagues and there was everything else. As far as the community pool, you know, that's something that I think through Park and Recreations, it could be a proposal that could come back up through to the City Council through Park and Recreations, if that's something that we felt was going to be important to Ojai. But nobody seems to be doing anything with regard to the bowling alley. Now, I take it back. Stacy Bonato has attempted to get some energy going with regard to the bowling alley, and hopefully she'll be successful, because that used to be an area where the kids could congregate, and it was wonderful. But you know, if she can't do it, maybe somebody else can. I mean, those are the kinds of things that we have to be thinking about when it comes to the activities for the kids in Ojai.